Well, if you've been following along on my YouTube channel, you'll know that I am a Wisconsin-based metal detectorist. And I absolutely love sharing the stories about the interesting items that my friends and I find with our metal detectors. But like many detectorists, I'll occasionally test and use other metal detectors, as I'm always on the lookout for some new features, new advancements that might help me find that next cool item. But that said, my preferred go-to metal detector continues to be the XP Deus 2. And I've actually traveled around the world with this machine, and I've even found my first gold coin with it a few years ago on a trip to England. You got to check out this video if you haven't seen it. So when I received an invitation to visit with XP on a recent trip I took to the UK with my wife, I absolutely jumped on the opportunity. And in this video, I'm going to highlight what I learned during that visit about the XP company, about their manufacturing process, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about one of their new offerings. But to be clear, I am not paid by XP, nor am I receiving any compensation for this video. I'm just a detectorist like you all.
I'm a pretty normal guy.
While I do have a YouTube channel, 100% of the profits from that channel is donated to charity. And this year I've chosen to support the Tunnel to Towers organization. If you're not familiar with them, please take a look at t2t.org. They're an incredible organization, and I'm very proud to be able to support them. But what you're going to get on this video are my opinions, my thoughts. But let me just say, if you're not a subscriber and you enjoy these types of videos, I'd appreciate you subscribing so we can help out the Tunnel to Towers organization. So enough with that. Are you ready to come along with me on my journey to XP? Let's do it. Well, my journey started early on a Monday morning. I had to Uber to a London airport and then catch a very short flight to Toulouse, France. And then after a short drive, I arrived at the location of the XP headquarters and manufacturing facility. And there I was greeted by the host of my day-and-a-half visit and XP's business manager, Philippe Collin. And if you're not familiar with XP, here is a bit of background. Although the XP company was founded in 1998, they have quickly become one of the leading global manufacturers of metal detectors. I think there are two key things that have contributed to their rapid growth and their success, but we'll talk more about those in a moment. So after some quick introductions, Philippe gave me a tour of the various manufacturing stations and processes. And I have to say, XP manufactures a variety of metal detectors, as well as a range of accessories, including wireless headphones, pinpointers, carrying cases, as well as even a software application. And something that immediately stood out and that I feel is one of the contributors to their success is XP's focus on controlling what they refer to as the value chain. And you know, this kind of reminds me of Henry Ford's breakthrough work with the Model T automobile. Henry Ford revolutionized the value chain through the introduction of the moving assembly line and his focus on the supply chain and what's referred to as vertical integration. And this transformed Ford's manufacturing efficiency. It reduced his costs and made their products more affordable and actually more innovative. And similarly, XP locally sources a significant amount of the materials and components used in their manufacturing processes. They've also made some investments in plastic injection molding capabilities, so they actually can produce and manufacture many of the detector's components. For example, Philippe shared with me they can design and produce their own coils, their stem shafts and control boxes, And this focus on the value chain allows them to maximize the efficiency and quality of their products from the design phase all the way through to distribution. And also, I was really impressed, as you'll see in some video clips here, their manufacturing process is highly automated. Now, this value chain focus and level of automation, I think, enables them to produce an innovative, high quality, long-lasting metal detector with a pretty generous 5-year warranty. But I was also impressed with the XP commitment to continuous improvement. So for example, XP doesn't just launch improvements when they release their new products, but they've also improved the design, for example, of the coil cable that is used to enable underwater exploration. I've also learned that they've improved the charging cable that connects to the control unit. This used to be kind of difficult to set inside there. They've improved that. And their newer detectors ship with an improved control mount. The previous control mount, as some of you may have known, could become loose after time, especially if, for example, the control unit was improperly attached or removed, which I know many of us have done. And as far as sustainability goes, Philippe shared with me that the copper, for example, that they source, it arrives on these giant spools. It's wound on these giant spools. They use this copper, of course, inside the coils. But once the spools are empty, they recycle these, and later that plastic is actually used as part of...
And we will be able to reuse, for example, to build the headphone box. It is.
Pretty cool, pretty impressive. So the tour was an incredibly informative and impressive event. It was clear to me that XP's focus and tight control of this thing they call the value chain, it enables them to efficiently design and build quality products. Following the factory tour, we then went to a nearby establishment for lunch and some traditional French cuisine. I was still thinking a little bit about the tour when, to my surprise, Philippe informed me that this guy in the picture here, the company founder and owner, Alain Loubet, would be joining us for lunch along with Benjamin, a member of the XP marketing team. You know, I was really honored to be able to spend some time with Alain, and this actually brings me to the other differentiator that I mentioned. XP is a privately held company owned by Alain, and amazingly, Alain has been metal detecting since he was 13 years old. And after many years of detecting with different detectors that he found, lacking that could be improved, he decided to build his own. So from the very start, XP metal detectors, they've been designed by a detectorist for a detectorist. And it wasn't long after the meal that our conversation actually turned away from detectors and turned towards our finds. And Alain, just as most of us would, had his phone out and was talking about his favorite finds as he joyfully swiped from one photo to the next, as many of us do almost daily. And I believe that the fact that this company was built and is led by a detectorist, right, along with their strong value chain focus, it's created what some in the business consulting world would call a virtuous circle. It's enabled XP to repeatedly develop a series of innovative features and high quality products. And my visit didn't stop there. I also had an opportunity to actually meet with members of the XP marketing team. I know some of you have also been wondering about a new high frequency coil for the Deus 2, and my advice is to stay tuned and sign up for their newsletter on their website, as this will be something you'll definitely want to review and consider. And finally, to top off my visit, Philippe and I took a short drive to one of XP's test gardens where I had an opportunity to learn a bit about the XP Extreme Hunter. And if you're not familiar with this product, I'm going to share with you a brief video to bring you up to speed.
So I just turn it on, don't do anything else. So it's basic settings, okay?
So you just turn it on, but Philippe, you did a few other things. So you took off your belt, and tell me about the jewelry,
Of
right?
course.
So nothing metal on your body.
Yeah.
You do have a couple wedding rings on, or some rings. That's okay.
That's okay, but no metal belt,
Okay.
no phone,
All right.
and shoes without any metal.
Any metal. So other than that, you just turned it on, regular settings, and we're going to go.
Yep.
And just to provide a bit of explanation here, what Philippe has set up in his test garden is a variety of different types and sizes of items, different types of metal at different depths.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have two different kind of sound. It's because there is a big target, but also because it's a ferrous. I just activate the discrimination, and with the discrimination we know that on the shallow, in between 0 and 50 centimeters, 20 inches, sorry, you have a target, but that the extreme recognized as a ferrous. Here we have a second one. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So it's very clear that the sound is bass and not high tone, so you know that it's a ferrous. But if it's not on a shallow, you can just know that it's a target, but you cannot know that it's a ferrous. You just know that it's a ferrous when you are close, okay? That's why that I said that the discrimination with the experimenter is just available on the shallow, in between 0 and 20 inches more.
Right. Otherwise, you just know it's a target, but you don't know what type.
It's not possible to be sure that it's not ferrous, that it's ferrous or not. But on the shallow, yes. That's very interesting, because if you're not looking for ferrous, that it is possible that you are looking for ferrous, but if you're not, when you have a sound with the experimenter on the ground, the first thing you do before beginning to dig out, you just turn on the discrimination, make a second try, and if you have a bass sound, then you decide to dig out or not. But at least you know it's ferrous on the shallow. It's not something very deep. Okay.
Very good.
That will avoid to waste your time digging out something ferrous if you don't want. For a 60 centimeters, for a 2 feet diameter target.
Almost 6 feet. And I'm going to turn the camera around here because I want to show how both Philippe and I are hearing the target. He's hearing it through the speaker, and I'm hearing the target through my headphones. Okay, so you could do this on the Deus 2 as well, but just yet another feature here of the Deus products that allow both the external speaker to work simultaneously with the headphones. But pretty cool machine.
But it's 2.5 meters deep. So how much?
Wow,
8 feet.
8.2 feet, 8 feet down, aluminum and I think
Copper
some,
plate.
okay, some copper.
Look at that.
Wow, that's incredible.
Okay.
That is absolutely incredible.
So the machine now
So it's
come
very
down.
light.
Yeah, it's very well balanced.
Yeah, balanced, and I'm surprised how light it is. So as we said, it was initially, we tested my shoes. My shoes do have some metal in them, but this is still working despite that. You're not going to miss that. So that is 4 feet deep, 1.25 meters. What I think is fascinating about this, talking to Philippe, I was asking him about the various use cases. And this is being used to find aircraft engines from World War I or II, I believe, and things like shields, various pieces of coats of armor, as well as the obvious, like a hoard or a cauldron of coins. And I was particularly intrigued. One use case, Philippe was telling me, you know, if you've been to an area, and I have, where a lot of coins may have been found, that may have been a passageway of some type. What actually also could be going on is the plow may have nicked or clipped some chest. And, you know, what you've found is probably all you're going to find, because as good as it is, the Deus 2 and other detectors can only go so deep. So this would be a great thing to go back over areas like that to see if in fact there's something in depth. But also, you know, I detect a lot of places with a lot of iron. And of course, that iron, you know, is going to mask other things underneath it with the Deus 2. So there's some potential use cases there as well. And just to double check, follow me. Let's go over to the most impressive, deepest target. Wow. 8.2 feet deep. And I'm picking that up. Wow, there you go, folks. Wouldn't you love to play with one of these? I know I would. This is incredible. And this is the same controller that you use to power the Deus 2 right here. It's the exact same one. But I know to use this with the Extreme Hunter, you do have to do the 2.0 update to tap into the Extreme Hunter feature. So, wow, very cool. Philippe, thank you so much for letting me play with this.
More than welcome.
Well, there you go. Thank you for coming along with me on my visit to XP. I just want to say thank you to the entire XP team for being such gracious hosts, allowing me to tour their factory. I appreciated learning about their manufacturing processes and seeing firsthand the attention to detail that goes into building such a high quality product. It was really great to give them some feedback as a user and also hear a little bit from them about what might be coming down the road in terms of, you know, new features and new products. It was a great opportunity to learn more about the Extreme Hunter and just spend some time with XP in France. So if you're not familiar with that company or with any of their machines, maybe now you'll pick one of them up. But I certainly enjoyed the trip, and I want to thank you for watching this video. So as always, best of luck to you and happy hunting.